chess family, it's me, National Master Jesse James, and today we're going over another fun game, and this time we're going to be playing the Smith-Morra. That's right, we're going to go ahead and attack the Sicilian from the white perspective. For the price of only one pawn, we get really good attacking chances. Let's do it. Alright, here we go. We started with e4, c5, the Sicilian, and here we go, we're going to play pawn to d4, the start of the Smith-Morra gambit. Here, Black goes ahead and takes, and then we go ahead and play pawn to c3, the start of the Smith-Morra officially. Now there's ways that they can decline it, which I have some videos if you want to take a look at that. But here, they're going to go ahead and accept the challenge and take. Alright, we're going to play knight takes on c3. And this one, Black chooses the old system of playing pawn to d6, which I definitely do not think is one of the best ways. I definitely champion or think the best way to play against it is going to be the e6 variations, which I do have quite a few videos on those ones. But anyways, Black chooses pawn to d6. I'm always happy to see. There's always really good ideas about playing pawn to e5 later. Here, I like to stick to the theory, develop your knights before bishops, so knight f3 gets played. Here, Black played g6, and this is definitely not a very good move. Against the Smith-Morra, you cannot fianchetto and get a good game. In fact, if you ask Mark Esterman, who has developed what is the Bible for most of us Smith-Morra players, he says it's just not working at all. So let's go ahead and try to refute this idea right away. In a different line where they don't play d6, you'd actually play pawn to e5 here right away, but here it's a little bit different. And here I found a new idea that actually stops this d6 line. Unfortunately, I didn't play it in the game, but I still got a good position, and I'm still going to show you some tricky ideas to attack this pawn structure. So here, I went ahead and just kept it simple. Bishop c4, a nice little move here. e5 is a little threat here for an old trap for those of you guys who know it. And here, Black is able to stop it with bishop to g7. Now, if they didn't know this, and let's say they played the pawn to a6, just because, here we have a very simple trap that gets played in a lot of Smith-Morras. Here, now you can go ahead and play pawn to e5. And for dear Lord, you do not take this pawn. If they do take, then bishop takes on f7, check gets played, and you're able to win the queen over here on d8. Because, well, this forces the king to move away, and then queen takes. But like I said, my opponent played a good enough move to stop this. They went ahead and played bishop g7. Again, this is not the best way to play because the fianchetto line is just bad against Smith-Morra. And here I went ahead and played castles. I played the typical move here, but what I learned out of this is against this line, you have a very nice move here to put pressure on the f7 pawn, and if not, d6 becomes weak. What do you play? Here you get to play the very nice idea of queen to b3. And any way that they defend this, we're going to get plenty of play from it. There's a few moves to play here. The computer actually suggests the line that I don't think any human would play is knight to h6. Developing, getting ready to castle, but of course the common player here would easily find the tactic. Bishop takes on h6, remove the defender. Bishop takes, and bishop takes an f7 check. And white has a slight edge here. I think most players here, at least most humans that are playing, would most likely be looking to play pawn to e6. But like I said, even in this one, you're going to get into a bad position for Black. And this is one of the reasons why I don't think the d6 move is very good in general. The d6 pawn will become a target. With a simple move like bishop to f4, knight to b5, rook to d1, you can see how fast it is to pile up against this d6 pawn. And it's very typical in these d6 lines in general. But like I said, I did not know the best way to play it, so I just went ahead and castled. And here I was able to get another Smith-Morra trappy idea. Alright, my opponent played knight c6, a very good move. Stopping the e5 pushes, and while developing the knights before bishops is always a good idea. Here I continued with my typical development. Here we're going to go ahead and play pawn to h3. Now you don't have to play this move, this is just something I like to play. The bishop to g4 can get very annoying in these lines, so I take one little move out of this and play pawn to h3 to stop the pin. Black plays knight f6, getting ready to castle, and here we go, queen to e2. A very good place for the queen. The queen moves out the way so that the rook can jump to d1. As we're going to see, it actually comes with a developing tactic. Alright, here Black went ahead and castled. And now let's keep up our development. Rook over to d1. The threat that you have with this is that you're threatened again to play pawn to e5. Mark Esterman has a very wise saying, whenever you're playing the Smith-Morra, you can definitely get lots of tempos or attack the queen. So by developing your pieces, harass the queen, and you will get very good lines because you're going to be getting free tempos, but then at some point you're going to be able to attack something else. So bring out your pieces and attack the queen. And this rook to d1 does just that with the e5 push. Of course, the pawn can't take due to the pin. So the queen got scared, and she ran over to c7. A very good square for us. We have knight d5 ideas, knight b5 ideas. Before I go harassing though, let's go ahead and keep developing. Bishop over to g5. This actually does come with a nice little positional threat of tactics. You can see how every move comes with a nice positional threat. Here my opponent went ahead and played a6. And here, well, I went ahead and just kept up with development. Here, there's a nice little positional play you can play here, which is bishop takes on f6. And the reason why this is a good way to try to play is because after bishop takes on f6, black must go ahead and just play pawn takes. And because of this, you get black has two double pawns, but also an isolated d pawn. Notice that it wouldn't make sense to play bishop takes f6 here, because now you get to play knight d5, forking the queen and the bishop. So you're going to get the same thing either way. The problem is for black is that they'll lose the bishop pair out of this. Here the queen will go to d8, knight takes on f6, pawn takes, and again, like I said, d6 and two double pawns. So, like I said, I could have played for this, but instead I decided to keep more pieces on the board and keep attacking. Here I went ahead and played rook ac1. I remember the idea. We're going to keep developing pieces, but we're going to keep trying to harass the queen. All right, my opponent played pawn to b5. And here, well, I went ahead and played the simple move, bishop to b3. Here, there are other nice tactics to try here. I don't really like the move the computer suggests, which is bishop d5. It's a try, but like I said, I like to keep the bishop pair here. And I'm setting up a very nice tactic. Here, the threat is to play knight to d5 here. Pin it and win it. Here you can see that the rook is opposite of the queen. So black played the very easy move here of pawn to e6. Believe it or not, here it is white to move and get a very good attacking position. Now white has a slight plus. White to move. What do you play here? All right, if you guys haven't already, go and give us that like and subscribe. Remember, liking this video is going to share it with more people. All right, were you able to figure out the idea? If you don't know, that's okay. You know, one of the things I love to do is keep building up my tactics, or keep building up the pattern recognition, right? This is one I definitely don't think I would have seen if I hadn't seen it before. But here, now that I know it, I play it on an instant. Here, white goes ahead and plays knight to d5. And the idea is very simple. You're attacking the queen, you're attacking on f6. How does this work? Doesn't pawn just take? Well, this is exactly what we want. Here we play pawn takes, and now we're going to be winning this knight due to the pin. Like I said, the computer is very interesting here. The computer actually likes bishop takes d5. I don't like that. I like making passed pawns. I like making open files here. Black played an interesting move of bishop b7. Definitely did not need to get played here, as I'm just going to go ahead and take. Yeah, I took, and now I have pressure against the bishop. And here, by no means is black supposed to take this. But, well, black learned a lesson today. Be very careful about pins. Bishop takes on c6. And now simple chess. What do you do with pinned pieces? Add pressure. Here I went ahead and played the simple move, knight to d4. And there really is just no good way to defend this bishop. At this point, I was able to win the game through a series of tactics and forced moves. And yeah, black goes ahead and resigns pretty soon here. Rook e8 got played, attacking the queen. And here I went ahead and played queen to f1. They call this a miss. You know, there's lots of different moves here, but you have to be very careful. For instance, a move like queen to d2 is definitely not the best move here. Knight to e4 will fork the queen and the bishop, and black is not standing so bad here. Even opens up the bishop over here too. And I looked at queen to d3, which is another move here. I didn't like bishop e4 ideas. Even though you could take the queen, they could take yours. I didn't want to trade off queens at this point, so I am still winning in that position, but again, I just didn't like that as much. And so I was just trying to find a good square for the queen, and I ran out of squares, to be honest. That's why I went ahead and just tried queen to f1 here. And, well, here, black went ahead and played bishop takes. So here they went ahead and won an extra pawn. But here, well, what do you think? Should we take the bishop or take the queen here? Either way, you're going to be up an extra piece. But I always like to keep the attack going. So what is the best move here for white? I wish every game I can get a checkmate in like 10, 15 moves, keep my queens on the board, but in this scenario, you must follow where the advantage takes you. In this case, a better endgame. Here we go to play rook takes on c7, best move. Because not only do we win the queen, but we also have another threat, a bishop takes on f7 check. Here, black's position collapses fast. They have to take the queen back, of course. King takes on f1. Here I could have played bishop takes on f7 check right away, and that definitely would have been the best move here. Black went ahead and played knight e4, missing the threat. of bishop takes on f7. They made a decent move here, which does attack the bishop, but hey, checks come first. Bishop takes f7 check, king to h8, bishop takes, and then knight takes on g5. And here the game ended very fast. I just threw the bishop back over here, attacking the rook, and you know, whenever people are making mistakes, they tend to keep making more. And they played knight takes on h3, and bishop takes on a8, went ahead and won the game. At this point, my opponent just resigned. And for a 24-60, not a bad player. It's very surprising how fast, whenever you get out of your typical openings, how bad things can go. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Remember, this was about playing the Smith-Morra gambit over here. Remember, the bishop g7 variations are fianchettoing, and these lines are not very good. Remember the idea of trying to play queen to b3 in the d6 line. And I'll see you in the next video.